The image of hundreds of people packed on top of trains in Bangladesh, clinging precariously to the sides despite the obvious dangers, has become a well-known symbol in parts of South Asia. Dubbed Great Migrations on Rails, these dangerously overcrowded trains narrate stories of survival for thousands of workers, yet they also carry the looming threat of tragic accidents. What has allowed this extreme overcrowding to persist for years without a definitive solution? Let's delve deeper into this pressing issue. With a population of over 170 million people packed into just 5,019 square miles, or about 13,000 square kilometers, Bangladesh has a population density of 3,490 people per square mile, or 1,248 people per square kilometer. This makes it one of the most densely populated countries in the world. The strain of this overpopulation is not only evident in its crowded cities, but also on its severely overburdened railway system. These trains have become an iconic, yet alarming representation of daily struggles, where thousands face significant dangers just to complete essential journeys. Trains are one of the most vital and widely used modes of transportation in Bangladesh, serving as economic arteries and essential lifelines for millions of people. They connect key social and economic regions, making them indispensable, especially for the working class and low-income populations. Compared to buses and other forms of transportation, trains are significantly cheaper, particularly in rural and remote areas. For laborers with limited income, trains are not just the most economical option, but often the only viable means of transportation. However, even the cost of train tickets can be a burden for larger families. To save money, many passengers resort to riding on train roofs or clinging to the sides, despite the inherent risks. During major holidays, such as al-Fitr, this situation becomes even more dire as the demand for travel skyrockets, forcing many to risk their lives simply to reunite with their families. At Dhaka's train stations, mornings and evenings see massive crowds of workers fighting for space on already overcrowded trains. Passenger cars, originally designed to seat 80 to 100 people, often carry 1,000 to 2,000 passengers, or even more in reality. Inside these packed cars, priority seating is typically given to those who arrive first, the elderly, children, and the infirm. Meanwhile, poorer workers, unable to afford tickets or unwilling to wait, must climb onto the roofs, hold onto railings, or occupy any available space on the train. Without protective gear, seating, or safety guarantees, these passengers grasp at any chance to board the train, regardless of the risks. They face substantial dangers just to make it to work in the morning or return home at night. A 33-year-old man, a regular train commuter, explains, "During rush hours, especially in the early mornings and evenings, trains are always packed. If you're not quick enough, you won't get inside, so you have to climb onto the roof or hang onto the outside." Passengers on the train roof, traveling at speeds of about 27 mm or 43 km/h, must grip tightly to maintain their balance while battling wind resistance and the jarring movements of sharp turns, narrow bridges, and obstacles on the tracks. During major holidays like Eid al-Fitr, the already intense pressure on the railway system reaches critical levels. Crowds rushing home to celebrate with family push the trains far beyond their capacity. A passenger recalls, "Festivals make the overcrowding worse. It's impossible to find a safe spot on the train, but people will do anything to get home." This dangerous overcrowding has become a painful symbol of population pressure and highlights the serious risks millions face each day. With a railway network spanning nearly 1,164 miles, or 3,000 kilometers, and serving approximately 65 million passengers annually, Bangladesh's railways are essential to the nation's functioning. However, poor infrastructure and lax management force millions into perilous daily journeys. The overcrowding problem poses not only immediate dangers to passengers, but also exacerbates the strain on Bangladesh's entire railway system. The outdated infrastructure, coupled with insufficient maintenance, fails to meet the growing demand. Train cars frequently operate far beyond their intended capacity, leading to accelerated wear and reduced efficiency. Poor management and the lack of effective safety measures, such as barriers at rail crossings, make accidents all too common. Every year, hundreds of incidents are reported, ranging from passengers falling off trains to collisions with other vehicles and severe crashes. One notable incident occurred in 2008 when a train collided with a bus at an unguarded crossing in central Bangladesh, killing at least 17 people and injuring over 19 others. This issue goes beyond transportation. It is a matter of survival and safety for millions. The need to improve the railway system, invest in modern infrastructure, and enhance management practices has never been more critical. Upgrading railways and implementing stricter safety regulations could drastically reduce the number of preventable tragedies and ensure safer journeys for everyone. India faces a situation similar to Bangladesh with its so-called death trains. As the second most populous country in the world, with over 1.4 billion people, India boasts the second largest railway network globally, spanning more than 41,600 miles, or about 67,000 kilometers. This railway system is the most critical mode of transportation for millions of people. Each day, approximately 23 million people rely on trains as their primary means of transportation. However, the number of passengers far exceeds the capacity of the trains, leaving many railway lines, especially in major urban areas like Mumbai, Delhi, and Kolkata, perpetually overcrowded. Passenger cars designed to accommodate about 200 people frequently carry double, triple, or even 5 times that number during peak hours. Suburban trains like those on the Mumbai Suburban Railway often handle such extreme overcrowding that passengers cling to the doors, sit on the roofs, or hang from the sides of the trains. The primary reason for this prolonged issue is the population's heavy dependence on railways, particularly in rural areas. Public transportation alternatives like buses or private cars are often unavailable due to poor infrastructure. For many, trains remain the only option, despite the extremely harsh and unsafe travel conditions. In India's major cities, a massive daily influx of commuters from suburban areas into the city centers for work and education places unparalleled pressure on the railway system. Migration from rural areas to urban centers as people seek better job opportunities and higher living standards has significantly increased the demand for public transport. This sudden and steep rise in demand has pushed many railway lines into severe overcapacity, leaving the system struggling to cope. India's railway infrastructure, much of which was built during British colonial rule, still relies heavily on designs and technology over a century old. Although there have been some upgrades, the system remains woefully inadequate to meet modern needs. According to a PwC report, more than 25% of the railway network is currently overloaded, and another 50% is nearing its capacity limits. Rural and suburban areas, in particular, depend on outdated, unsafe train cars that lack even basic safety and comfort. At the same time, modernization projects like metro systems and high-speed trains progress at a snail's pace, hindered by high costs, insufficient funding, and legal hurdles. Overcrowding not only reduces operational efficiency, but also leads to serious safety issues. In Mumbai alone, over 1,000 people die annually due to falls from overcrowded trains or accidents involving trains. Nationwide, 2014 statistics revealed that 27,000 people lost their lives to railway-related incidents. Many victims are hit by trains while crossing unguarded tracks or fall from moving trains. In recent years, a series of high-profile accidents has heightened concerns about the safety of India's railway system. A tragic example was the collision of 3 trains in Odisha in June 2023, which claimed around 300 lives and left over 1,200 injured. This incident was not only a transportation disaster, but also a stark reminder of the gaps in railway management and operations. While the Minister of Railways insists that accidents are not increasing, the reality tells a different story. The growing number of severe and frequent incidents has eroded public confidence in the system's safety. Despite these risks, millions of Indians remain heavily reliant on the railway system as their primary mode of transportation. Passenger cars are often overcrowded to the point where people are crammed inside, hanging on to the outside, or perched dangerously on the roof. These scenes not only highlight the extreme danger, but also reflect the inability of the transportation infrastructure to meet the ever-growing demand. For many, risking their lives to board a train is the only option to avoid being left behind in their challenging pursuit of livelihood. To address this overcrowding crisis, the Indian government has introduced various plans to reform and modernize the railway system. But progress has been slow, failing to keep pace with the rapidly increasing demand. One of the most significant efforts is the construction of high-speed rail lines, such as the Mumbai-Ahmedabad corridor, which is expected to relieve pressure on traditional railway routes. However, this project has been delayed for years due to exorbitant costs and land acquisition disputes. The government has also pledged to modernize infrastructure by upgrading signaling systems, enhancing safety measures, and adding new train cars. But with limited budgets, these efforts are barely making a dent, especially given the aging infrastructure and steadily increasing passenger numbers. The Indian railway system, employing over 1.3 million workers, remains heavily subsidized by the government, making it inefficient. Private companies are hesitant to invest in a sector requiring high upfront costs, long payback periods, and strict government oversight. Beyond infrastructure issues, passenger behavior also poses significant challenges. Reckless actions, such as crossing tracks without caution, climbing onto train roofs, or dangerous jostling to board, are primary causes of accidents. Although awareness campaigns have been launched, their impact has been limited due to inadequate enforcement and oversight. Surveillance systems at train stations and along railway lines are underfunded and insufficient to monitor and prevent hazardous behaviors. Moreover, the increasing demand for freight transport amid rapid economic growth adds substantial strain to the railway system. The shared use of tracks for both freight and passenger trains creates scheduling conflicts, increases the risk of accidents, and causes frequent delays. This creates a vicious cycle, as both passenger and freight needs remain unmet. If you found this content engaging and want to explore more unique stories, make sure to hit subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.